Hello Premier Catch community, I'm Ashley and I am one of the co-founders and owners of Premier Catch along with my sister-in-law Jossie, and I'm here today to talk to you about omega-3s. And I'm also a registered dietitian nutritionist and I work with professional athletes. Omega-3 fatty acids, they're good for the heart, they're good for the brain, they're good for the gut, and they're good for inflammation. But how do they work? What are they? And how much do we actually need? So there are three main omega-3 fatty acids. We have ALA, DHA, and EPA. ALA comes from plant oils, and our body can convert a little bit of ALA into EPA and then DHA, but only in very small amounts. So it's really important that we get EPA and DHA from seafood. Omega-3 fatty acids are really important pieces of the cell membranes. They surround every cell in our body, especially our brain. And so it's really, really important to eat a lot of these omega-3 fatty acids. So here's a fun fact. Omega-3 fatty acids don't actually live in the fish naturally. They are created by the algae that the fish eat in the ocean. And so this is why wild seafood is really important instead of farmed. Now, different fish carry different amounts of omega-3 fatty acids, and there definitely are some fish that you're gonna get way more omega-3s than others, and we're gonna talk about that. But first, how do you know if you have enough omega-3s? Well, there's two different blood tests that you can get and should get from your doctor. One is called an omega check and the other one is called an omega-3 index. Both actually give you a really good idea of how much omega-3 is actually floating around in your bloodstream and available for use by the body. If your doctor orders an omega check, we want that number to be above 5. If your doctor orders an omega-3 index, that goal is above 8. The American Heart Association and the National Seafood Partnership recommend getting 2 servings of seafood in a week. Really easy is to switch out 2 chickens with 2 seafood. Many of the chronic diseases in this country are preventable, and that is due to inflammation. Omega-3s are like cold water on a hot fire of inflammation. It cools inflammation and it can help in the brain, the heart, the gut, and all over the body, even for something silly like an injury. So increase in omega-3s is really important. Eating seafood a minimum of twice a week really helps get that going, but you may need to eat a little bit more to reach the goal from the American Heart Association of 1 gram, that's 1,000 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids every day. That's 7 grams a week that we're aiming for. Our wild Alaskan king salmon has 4 grams per serving. So if you just eat 2 servings of our wild Alaskan king salmon a week, you're done. Our sockeye salmon also has a lot, but a little bit less than the king salmon. It's one of the main differentiators between a sockeye salmon, a little bit leaner and more bright orange, versus a king salmon, which is that nice, white, big, fatty piece of fish. Surprisingly, sablefish does not get enough hype in the omega-3 world. Sablefish actually has more omega-3s per ounce than our king salmon, so mixing in sablefish every now and then is a really good way to go. Another great way to get in omega-3s is through Albacore Tuna. Our canned Albacore Tuna is awesome. It has about 20% of your weekly needs in half a can. So just 1 tuna sandwich a week gets you 20% of the way there. Really, really amazing. And canned Albacore has more than some of the other blends of tuna out there. Our tuna is also not canned in any water or any oil, which can leach some of the omega-3s from a typical canned tuna. No problem with ours. 1 serving of our sablefish gets you 40% of the way there to your goal of 1 gram of omega-3 fatty acids per day. 1 serving of our wild Alaskan king salmon gets you more than 50% of the way there. Half a can of our tuna gets you 20% of your goal, and 1 6-ounce piece of our sockeye salmon also gets you 20% of your goal. If we can mix and match between these 4 seafood options, you guys are well on your way to a healthy, anti-inflammatory diet. Let me know what you think about this information in the comments, and as always, communicate with us on all our social media platforms for questions, comments, and we love to interact with you guys more. We want to bring seafood education to the masses, and we want everybody to eat more wild seafood.